All right, we are back with your views and my facts. We've been talking about the restaurant business and shitty service and so forth. So we have got a new guest with us. We have Ursula. Ursula, go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
Ursula is, I'll just say, familiar with our other guest, Rich. I'll just leave it at that. So if they want to, expand on that, they could do, their own thing to go into that. Urs, where are you from? I'm sorry, I know I just caught you drinking. I'm so sorry. That was bad on my part.
I'm also familiar with all these people as well. I've known them for a while.
Yeah, so am I.
Just wanted to make sure that
You're
was clear.
interrupting, Graham.
Sorry.
So I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. Let me guess.
Packer fan. Big time.
All right. Now, funny thing, on a previous episode that we had, we were actually talking about Packers fans. And essentially the bottom line of it was I said I only know one true Packers fan.
And that was me.
That was you. Everybody else, fuck them. Because you got 80% of the goddamn squadron that is apparently Packers fans. Nobody's even from from Wisconsin.
I'm a Packers
fan.
fan.
So that was my thing. I get here and I'm a Bears fan, diehard, and we have all these Packers fans. It's like, where the hell do you all come from? We got one that's from Sacramento. We got another one that's from damn Chicago.
One from Texas, one from Illinois.
Yep.
So it's like, come on. I was like, how are you guys Packers fans? And they all had their various reasons. But to me, I'm called bullshit on every last one of their reasons.
Well, right, yeah. Unless you have a damn good, valid reason why you want it, you're going to be.
Why do I have to have a reason though?
All of them have a reason.
I'm saying a damn good reason, right?
Yeah,
because normally what you run into is that, well, I just happen to be in that area, right, just for a little bit of my life, and then they just they won a Super Bowl, so I ended up falling in love with them, and no, go fuck yourself, right?
My point is why is my reason have to be valid to you in order for me to be a fan?
Well, for you, you know what? If you're going to bring it to the table, if you're going to bring those views to the table, and say that, hey, I'm a Packer fan and I'm going to, root for them and I'm going to talk shit about your team, then you need to have a valid reason that you root for that team. So don't talk shit about my team unless you can straight up back why you are a fan of your team.
And that's the main piece about it, right? I mean, you get into the look, if you sit there and say, well, I just love fucking Jordy Nelson. That's it? Well, yeah. I mean, Jordy Nelson was my home. Where's he from? I'm sorry. Do you know? Okay. Well, I don't know either. So I'm just going to throw something out here. This is probably wrong, but Jordy Nelson's from Florida. I'm from Florida, so I followed him wherever he fucking went. Boom, Packers fan. All right. So when that motherfucker leaves, you're no longer a Packers fan.
Exactly.
So you ain't a true fucking fan. So just shut the fuck up.
Like,
so let's go the same.
You're not a Packer fan. You're a fucking Jordy Nelson.
I get that because people have been that with other individuals.
Well, just like LeBron, people are they're not Cleveland fans. They're fucking LeBron fans. So if LeBron
so you shouldn't be a college fan then, unless you've gone to that college.
Well,
or you're from that hometown.
That's different. No.
Like, how could you ever be a college fan of that one unless you went to that school? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
So I'm an Illini fan. I grew up in Illinois. I'm an Illini. That's who I root for. But you know what? There are other college schools I like. I like Texas. I like, Syracuse. I mean, if we're talking about basketball, NCAA basketball. But if we're looking at football, yeah, I am a Texas fan and a Bama fan.
So that just doesn't make sense how that's acceptable. Yet, I can't be a Packers fan even though I've been a Packers fan my entire life. But that's not okay because Rich says so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Invalid.
But I also said I am an Illinois fan, So I'm not one of those people like, man, I'm only a Texas fan, because you have those guys, well, I'm from Ohio State, I'm from Ohio, but I'm a fucking Texas fan.
Right.
But then when the Longhorns start losing, like, they're shit right now, and they haven't been winning, then are you still a fan?
And that's just the difference between bandwagon fans and
I'm a Buckeye fan
fans.
again.
No, that's what
I'm from Ohio.
That's exactly what we're talking about, though.
Right.
So you can have a college team that you're okay with, and then also, like maybe a secondary or tertiary team. That's perfectly fine, right? I mean, perhaps you like so. A case in point for me would be I'm an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. I'm from Iowa. Now, Bob Stoops who used to be the coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. He has since he retired. We'll see if he comes back. I highly doubt it, but he graduated from the University of Iowa. So as long as you are at least a fan, right, of the state that you are from, right, or you you can have that connection, then there should be no reason why somebody said, at least if someone, why you're an Oklahoma Sooners fan? Because Bob Stoops was from the University of Iowa.
So you're a Bob Stoops fan.
So, but I could be a Sooners fan though too on how he's coached and how he's made the team, which is I think kind of sort of maybe what Rich was going down. He could be an Alabama fan. I mean, there are reasons why he likes Alabama. Who was the other one?
Have to do with the fact that they're from Illinois.
Syracuse, I mean, depending on, like I said, what you're talking about. If you're talking about NCAA basketball, NCAA football, so. I mean, but then you have people that are just straight up like conference friends, fans. So I like the SEC.
Yeah, I guess my main point is it doesn't necessarily matter where you're from that you can be a fan or cannot be a fan from that area. It's more of like, have you been a fan for your whole life? Or like, are you a fan just because you like that one individual? Or are you a fan because someone else was a fan? I mean. Yeah, but those are all there are other valid reasons other than just I'm from that area.
No, exactly right. But that's what we're saying. At least make it a valid point. Like, don't give me some whack bullshit.
Being from Northwest Indiana, like we talked about earlier, is very interesting because we are typically split. Northwest Indiana.
Is it?
We're typically really split between. We have a lot of Bears fans and a lot of Colts fans, right? But the point for me is we're 3.5 hours from the Colts, but we're 45 minutes from the Bears. Right. So a lot of people are either they family are from Chicago, they have a lot of family in Chicago. So it makes sense to me that they're Bears fans, even though we're from Indiana.
Are you a Colts fan or a Bears fan?
Green Bay fan.
How the fuck does that work?
Because my family was Packers, and that's why I grew up watching.
Okay, see, now I could
I'm
almost consider that.
There are also a lot of Packers fans.
Key word, almost.
But
almost.
Obviously, there's a lot of Packers fans everywhere in the country. Yeah, that's what we've identified from this point.
Because they multiply, and they just like
they have a lot of kids.
And jumping on bandwagons. They're like roaches. They all coming out.
Why would they be jumping on their bandwagon now?
Fine. Hold on. Have you ever asked them why they are fans?
No.
Well, I think you should ask them because, and again, this is not what I want this episode to revolve around. So I'm just going to make this one point. You guys can comment on it and then let it die because I don't want to go down the political spectrum. But it's the same theory of, well, if your parents are either right or left, then you follow that road because that's what they were. Well, I think you should ask them, well, why are you that way? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, why do you vote left or right? That way, and then you could try to make an informed decision after you also review what those, at least the left and right. Yes, there's many more different political arenas that we can go into, but that would be my point. So, I mean, if my dad always liked to hunt, right? It's like, oh, I like to hunt. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you still got to fall in love with it, right? I mean, you still have to appreciate it. You have to have some, some love for it. So
I feel like the hunting was definitely a better example because, I mean, obviously when it comes to politics, there's not really a lot of, when it comes to sports and entertainment, I mean, it's a little less than views and political reasons and stuff like that. That's kind of hard to...
No, I thought that was a very clear distinction.
I think it's pretty extreme.
Did you guys not think that distinction was good? Do not a lot of kids follow what their parents do for politics?
They do.
Thank you.
They do, but
I did at first.
Watching sports and being a sports fan because they're a sports fan, I don't have to be like, so Dad, why were you a Packers fan? Let me validate those reasons, and then I might change.
A Packers fan.
Right, but I'm saying that's a lot different than politics, where politics take a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different beliefs.
Well, I think the road he's going down is basically saying that don't just follow blindly. I mean, so like, if your dad was a Democrat, and your mom was a Democrat, now are you going to just basically be a Democrat because you was born into that, or are you going to find out and make an informed decision yourself?
I get that, but with like being a sports team fan, really, where does it come to like an informed decision based on my own beliefs? That's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. I can see it with religion. I can see it with politics. But when it comes to sports, it's like, I understand your decisions, but now I'm going to follow my own beliefs and become an Atlanta fan.
But why would you not ask that?
That sounds weird to me.
For instance, so say that, Packers were great when your parents were around, Say now they suck.
So I should jump off and I should make my own informed decision.
But in your time, the Packers were nothing.
Or
They were
believe in their
nobody,
legacy.
you know. But you know, you got
The Packers were always somebody.
okay. I mean, this is hypothetical, you know.
Make sure all these caveats are thrown out there. Purely hypothetical.
Okay. All right.
So just saying, you know, maybe some other teams. So the Patriots, right? So why can't you
not concerned
decide
about them.
if you want to be a Patriots fan versus a Green Bay fan? Because I mean, really, Green Bay really has no one on there with namesake, you know. But you look at the Pats. I mean, they have Tom Brady. You know, they've had, you know, Randy Moss. They've had, you know, they have Bill Belichick as their coach. I mean, that's enough said right there. You know, I mean,
What-
do you even know the coach of the Packers? Exactly, right there. There go to hesitation.
I do. Starts with an M.
Mike.
Well, actually, let's ask our Packers fan here.
Don't ask me.
Well, okay. Why? Yeah. While they handle their side scuffle here. All right. So let's say that you had.
McCarthy.
God damn. All right. So let's say that you ended up taking your quarterback, right, from your star team, all right, or the Packers, in the case, right, for you, Sean, and that would be who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Glad we got that right.
Yeah, but he's obviously not a name according to
No,
Rich.
he's no one.
So all right, so let's say, right, you as a when do you think you start comprehending football as a child, like with your family? 8, 9?
4, 5.
Yeah, I mean, depending on.
I was sitting with my dad watching the Packers at
Yeah,
like 4 or 5.
But did you know, like, names and so forth? I guess that's what I'm like, 8, 9.
I knew Brett Favre.
Yeah, so
Okay. Well, I didn't want to come to you because I know that you're going to choose Packers. I mean, that's where you're from, right?
Right.
So you're kind of but going towards Sean.
I was,
then-
I think, 20, 21. When I started really following football.
Fine. My point being is, you said as a kid, though, right?
I used to see like the old cards, like stuff like that when I was young.
Right.
I never
Look-
actually watched it much.
I know, but anyways, where I'm going with this is that, all right, so you have your quarterback that you're growing up with, right, watching the games with your dad, and so let's just say that, yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers, right, or if you're going back further in the case of Ursula or myself, yeah, like Brett Favre, right?
I've heard of that one.
So so normally, right, the quarterback is the staple of the team, right? Everybody agrees with that. Like, I mean,
Right.
that's normal, unless you get to some amazing running back, which there are plenty, right? Or an amazing wide receiver. It's normal. The quarterback is what you can go to, especially as a child, right? It's quarterback. So what happens when Aaron Rodgers then, as a child, gets traded to, we'll say, the Patriots?
This great example just happened a couple years ago with Peyton Manning. A lot of Colts fans weren't really Colts fans when Peyton Manning was traded. Colts lost a lot of fans.
Right. Okay.
And so that's a good example because that was one of the, more
But
recent
then those,
examples.
Well,
then those Colts fans become Denver fans at that point.
Yeah, they were just Peyton fans. Like,
okay.
I mean, I know some people who were just Peyton fans.
Yeah, but they ended up buying a fucking Denver jersey, and they would have been Broncos fans. So that's why I'm asking you then, right, or why you should at least challenge the individual on, well, why are you a fan? Because as a kid, if that's who you fell in love with as that quarterback and they left, you're going to go follow that quarterback then, right? And be like, no, I'm a Patriots fan. Because I grew up watching Joe Montana, Brett Favre, right, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and then they left because you have no allegiance when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I
You
guess
have no
part of that
allegiance.
nowadays, for me at least, is like, okay, I chose Green Bay because that was just kind of what was known to me as like the team that I liked, right? And then now all of a sudden, I mean, because that was what my family was watching, that was what, I was around a little bit. And then now, whenever I'm playing, football games on, video games and shit like that, I would always choose Green Bay. And then Green Bay was just the team that I fell in love with because they're the ones that I've known the most.
Yeah, look, if you want to have an odd reason like that, fine.
What's your passionate reason for liking your team?
I don't have a team.
You don't have a team?
I'm a sports bettor.
Okay.
Now, if you ask me, though, if you want me to choose, I have always said, and I've been definitive in that I love controversy. and I love the Patriots.
Right.
Because they are surrounded in controversy and people fucking hate them. People hate me. So I feel like that's a good mesh. Okay. But I'm from the state of Iowa. Guess what our NFL team is? Don't fucking have one. Number 2, okay, I'm a military brat. All right. So moved around a lot. And my dad does not watch sports. My dad would probably want to burn every stadium down. No threats. But he does not care for sports at all. So I never had that, oh, let me grow up watching games with my dad or watching games with my mom. But so anyway, since you put me on, it's Patriots. I'm proud of that. I love the Patriots.
Why?
But I just told you why. Controversy.
Just because people don't like them.
That's you damn right. Because they're fucking great.
Okay, so you like them because they're great,
and there's controversy there, right? Okay. But I also, I'm a Vegas dude, right? I mean, I spent quite a few years there, so I love to gamble as well. So I try not to put my heart towards a team.
Yeah, that just fucks everything up.
It does.
You can't bet with your heart.
But I go back to, so let's say now, right? You're 9 years old, right? Your favorite quarterback leaves, right? But your parents, right, because they can see you better than you can see yourself, right, at that age, and they know that you loved Aaron Rodgers. So now Aaron Rodgers went to the Patriots, and then for Christmas coming up, your parents get you a Patriots Aaron Rodgers jersey. Who do you fucking love now? You are going to love that jersey. Mm-hmm. That is going to be your most prized possession. You are now a Patriots fan. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is you should at least ask just going around like, hey, Mom, Dad, why you like this team? Did you guys go to that school?
I'll ask and I'll get back to you.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So now that we have established, I guess, who everybody is a fan of, so Bears, Packers, and then myself, the Patriots, reigning Super Bowl champs, by the way. But, so restaurant business, right? So we were talking about that and talking about how service is shitty, and while we were on a break here, getting a refill of some beverages and doing some doing some game planning about where we might maybe want to take this. Tips. How do you figure out a tip? So I've heard a lot of different ways, right? One, you have just your standard, right? 10%, 15%, 18%. Okay. All right. Look, I'm setting it up here. Give me a moment, please. But then I've also heard, right, that you can go in there and it's how you feel based. Just, I don't know, $30, right? Whatever. The third way I've heard is that you go in there with a predetermined amount and then you deduct based off bullshit, right? Now you can kind of earn some of those dollars back, but it will never be greater than the X amount of what you walked into. So, Ursula used to do. She used to be a waitress, right, prior to her also being within the military, as we already said that we are. So, if I could ask you, if you don't mind, where did you work? How long did you work there? And then, what is your take on? So, two-sided question. What was your take on how you got tips, and now how you do tip, and if your experiences maybe have affected how you tip now?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely before I was a waitress, I didn't tip. Like I never tipped. Okay. Until I became a waitress. So I worked at Dave & Buster's for a year.
I love me some D&B.
So I got to learn, a lot about it. And you have to, it kind of depends on the state, because in Wisconsin, if you're a waitress, you're only getting paid, you get paid below minimum. So we got paid $2 an hour. Like, we literally get paid in tips.
When was this, if you don't mind me asking? Roughly.
2010.
Okay. So I'm only saying that it may not be $2 anymore, but
it might not be $2, but it's still
there is a
you get paid in tips.
Yes,
like a lot of restaurants, you get paid in tips. Okay, like they pay you because they know you're getting paid
now
in
to
tips.
be a waitress at a place such as Dave & Buster's. Did you have to be 21 for the alcohol, or were you?
No,
18?
You didn't have to be 21. I was over 21, but you don't have to be 21. But you do need to hold a liquor license, like.
As a person?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I never heard of that.
There's different types of liquor licenses.
Okay. I guess I didn't know that. Wow. I learn something new every day.
But because you need to know how to handle the situations, like when you're, giving alcohol beverages to people.
Yeah, I'd always been under maybe this was an Iowa thing, that it was like 16 to sell, 18 to serve, and 21 to buy. But maybe that's just an Iowa thing.
I think it's state by state, because I've heard that before, but then it changes up because even in Texas it's completely different. So.
Yeah, well, nobody cares about Texas. All right, so back at it. So Dave and Buster's, you were over 21 at the time as a waitress, making well below minimum wage at $2.
So again,
you work on tips.
You only get paid in tips, so yes, you realize how much people. Well, you realize that you should tip, obviously, right?
You realize that you get shafted,
right? And you can. It's funny because you can start looking at groups of people and know who's gonna tip who. So you kind of start talking to your hostess, bribing your hostess to give you good people.
Did you
people?
Yes.
Did you notice? Would your tips fluctuate on whether you were sweeter or okay?
I was always a good waitress. I'm just gonna say.
I wasn't saying you weren't.
No, but I so in the beginning, yes, at first I didn't realize everything you need to do, but once I realized what got you tips, your condiments were always out before your food, your drinks were always refilled before you asked me.
Boom.
And if your food was taking too long, even though it's not my fault, I went and got the manager, something got comped. You know what I'm saying? Something was happening.
Or you're going to at least let them know.
Bravo.
Exactly.
Look, there's a problem.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Bravo.
It's not that hard. It's really not that
No.
hard.
Where the fuck are the Ursulas in the world these days?
I'm just saying.
I've never had that at a restaurant.
So once I knew that's all you need to do to get a good tip, that's what I always do. But some people just don't realize that or don't care. So, but yeah, you realize you do need a tip. Again, people get paid in tips, and once you some waiters would go to the extent where they would even tell their group of people that they're serving, hey, I only get paid in tips. I didn't have to do that. I didn't go that far. I think that's
wrong.
Unprofessional. But
so if you're coming at me talking about your fucking money issues and all I want is my drink or my food, then your tip is just
zero.
But it worked for that person. That person got more tips because he would tell people, I only get paid in tips.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, go fuck yourself, man. I just want my food.
But definitely there, I didn't understand, I didn't know there was even percentages to it. I didn't, and then you learn why larger parties have an automatic gratuity and all that stuff. But you get to choose as a waitress whether or not you want to apply that or not. If you think that party's going to tip more than that, then you can take it off and have them tip.
That's like what we were talking
Man, I
about
wish
earlier.
you were here for the first segment. I've got 35 questions now. So as I could try to mend all this together and be the glue that binds us all. So my one question that I don't think we got to then was, based off your attitude, did your tips change after you learned everything?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So, so I presume the nicer you were, your tip normally reflected greater.
Yep.
Okay. Earlier in our episode, we were talking about this gratuity piece and that it's automatic. Now, I said, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess I could go back and probably replay it, but I said I wasn't too sure on if I liked that or not, but I was more for that I don't think it should be there. Right? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it has to. Because, so when young people come in, I would say 25 and younger.
Yeah.
They will literally just leave you whatever change they have in their pocket. Literally just quarters or some pennies. Or $1. That's what I got from my 25 and under group.
Okay. My caveat to why I only would agree to this and in America is I also don't think that tips should even be a thing and that waitresses and waiters should be paid a regular wage, and that way it's not a problem.
I agree.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So, because I was thinking about this while you're talking about the fact that once you realized how to get better tips, you essentially became a better waitress. And from you being a better waitress, that meant that the individuals got way better service, right?
Correct.
So they got better service. Mm-hmm. If tips didn't exist, do you believe that waitresses would definitely give much worse service or less service?
I mean, it would depend on how strict the business is. If they care about their service, then you're worried about your job now.
Though, Okay, so I was in Europe for 4 months, and when I was in Europe for 4 months, I will say that you don't tip in Europe.
In most countries,
right?
Other countries,
So
you don't
so
tip,
that was my only experience, and the waitresses weren't as good as some of the waitresses here, but they also weren't terrible, right? But they weren't amazing. They can go out of their way to be extra polite or to ensure that I had every single thing I needed.
How many different restaurants might I ask did you go to in that time span?
At least like 50.
Okay, would you say that they were all pretty much similar?
They were very consistent, yes.
See, that's what at least I would be happy with.
Here
at
we
least
don't
be
have that.
consistent. Right now, I'm expecting I want the fucking
You
best.
get Ursula, or you get some really shitty waitress that doesn't.
Yeah, because I feel like when I walk in there, I'm the king.
And I feel like I'm obligated to even give that bad waitress
a tip still
because I know that she's getting $2 an hour. And
yeah, well, if she didn't suck, she'd be getting more money.
Right, but
so I never feel obligated.
Give her a decent tip just because, I just feel that way.
You can still just leave that shitty waitress $1
to prove a point.
$2. Yeah, exactly, to prove a point, and maybe he or she would get the message like, oh man,
that's what I do now.
Yeah, exactly. My service was shitty, so this is what I got. This is what
if you don't leave a tip, then they might think you just forgot. So you have to leave something.
Or they just might assume it's your fault. They might just say, "Oh, he was an asshole. He didn't tip." But you know what? No, your service was shitty. So this is what you're worth.
I do right now.
On their receipt.
You making the conscious decision to leave like a fucking quarter was like you sucked.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That might help them in the long run. So
I went out of my way to basically be a dick to you. So now okay, well, yeah.
Okay.
Rethink your life.
All right.
And don't come back to this restaurant.
Right, yeah. All right, so it was surprising to hear that you had the option to either apply that or not apply that. I think that's a good option. At least that was available. What are your thoughts on a party asking though for you to split the check?
Oh.
Even if you wanted to apply that I mean let's say you got 10 or more. Hey, gratuity's automatic.
Or even if I split it, but they're with a party of over, I think it's over 8 people or whatever. It depends on the place, but I can still add the gratuity, and now it's just split amongst the checks. So that doesn't go away. But splitting the checks is fine. Just tell me up front though, so I can start it up front.
Now should you ask if you see a group of 10 people and it's 10 adults? And maybe 4 showed up at first, 2 more showed up, another one showed up, 2 left, another one showed up.
No, yeah.
Should you ask us or should we tell you? I guess is a good question.
Either or. There's really no perfect answer for that one.
I've been a lot of places, and a lot of waitresses or waiters, they use it, same check or separate checks. I mean, that's one of the questions they ask up front when they see a big party. But then you have some of the ones, I guess, that more behind the curve. They just assume, like you say, oh, well, this must all be on one fucking check.
Yeah, but I think we've gotten to a point now, so perhaps, Ursula, when you were back being a waitress, that the technology movement and the computer movement, right, was... All right, well, you said 2010. All right, so let me go farther back for me. All right, you I think you had more waitresses back when I was, younger and going to restaurants that... they probably asked that more because it was a little bit more time intensive to.
It's always going to be time intensive though, regardless, because it's always going to be one list, and now you have to make 10 fucking lists.
I hear you. You
don't have to do the math in your head though, because the math.
The math is done, but you still have to figure out who had what and all that.
Oh right, no, I agree, but are you not? Shouldn't you be like? Even putting down like, all right, person 1.
When I write down
person 2.
First off, when I wrote down who had what, I wrote seat 1, seat 2, whatever.
And isn't that inputted into the computer?
No.
What the fuck?
You just put in the food. That's it. You just put in the order. All it wants to know is the order. They don't give a fuck about seat 1, seat 2.
I guess we got
even when you split checks, like you have to like make it split. Probably. It's ridiculous.
Okay, fine. I will semi-retract my last statement that I made earlier in the show, and that I thought you could easily just put it in there, seat 1, right? Like here you are. And I guess I don't know why you can't do that. I mean to me, it's the same thing as doing booth to booth to booth.
So now it depends. Like if they already know you're gonna split checks, yes, then I'm gonna go in and make it easy so I can split checks at the end.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't find out until afterwards, and now you got to go through and split checks, that's when it's harder to do.
All right. Okay.
All right, and then it depends on the company and what system they bought.
Okay.
That's probably a big part of it too. The company and their software. I'm sure certain
Right.
softwares are more
I'm
user
sure a mom
friendly.
and pop company,
You're not gonna
restaurant
have
is
that.
not gonna have. Like,
Yeah.
But one of my comments earlier
Applebee's
was
software.
that I feel like you're more likely to get shorted if you don't if you don't split the check. Because I've been out before with 10 individuals, and 2 of them left earlier, and they ordered 3 gin and tonics. They paid $20 down, but their stuff cost them $45. And at the end, they're like, "Well, we're short $80." I'm like, I don't know how many gin and tonics they ordered. I don't know if that's what they're missing. I don't know if there's a mistake on this check. So I'm not gonna pay this extra stuff.
So I've seen the instances like that where they just throw it like, so for instance, like say, you two leave and, we're still there. If you only pay half your tab, for, your 3 or 4 gin and tonics and you still had 3 or 4 after that, then yeah, they just add it on to whoever's still there.
Right.
Which is kind of shitty because I'm sitting there like, I'm not paying this.
But I also
shit,
don't know how many they even ordered. So I don't know if they ordered 7 or if they ordered 3. So I don't know if this check is right. So I can't argue the check because they're not
Right.
here.
But is it fucked up to them or is it fucked up to your friend that just left you high and dry?
But say that my
I
friend
mean-
did leave me correct, and then now all of a sudden the checks was wrong, and maybe it's because there's so many different people here. I'm just thinking it would have been so much simpler from the beginning if you allowed split checks.
But you can say that in the
But
beginning.
some places, okay, this goes back to where the restaurant we were talking about in the beginning, which they have a policy that they do not allow split checks.
This is the place where we have pint night.
They typically do split their
Oh.
checks, but however, they can come back to us at the end of the night and be like, "We refuse to split your check because we have a policy that we don't do that." And I guess that's why we have gotten so angered about this.
Yeah.
in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, if I think about it again, I mean, maybe I think my outlook might change from here on out. Again, before I just thought it was a lot easier just to split checks within the computer system, but now that I know that it could be more of a pain in the ass than doing it in the beginning, I might be more conscious about it now.
And I'd be more proactive
And-
to say, "Hey, can you please
Cor-
split our checks?"
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So.
even before you order.
All right, so let's get a little bit with some now difference of opinion where and now how you tip and what you do. So I'm gonna start first, then I'm gonna go to Sean and Rich, and then I want to end with Ursula since she was a waitress, and I think her opinion might be
Valid. More valid.
Extreme.
it'll hold more weight.
Thank you.
Well,
So-
you can also say it could be biased as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Biased
true.
in the right way, though.
It's still biased.
In the right way. Thanks.
Hey, I mean, right now you're right, and at the very end, she can say, "Pfft, "Well, those were your views; these are my facts." So here's how TJ operates in his world. So I really, if it is no kidding, just shit, and I can't. I wish I could define that for you, but I'm talking. I never get a refill right unless I'm asking for it.
The worst.
My food was wrong, right? It's just 0. I do not leave a tip at all. Otherwise, I normally live in. You know what? This is their job. I don't know what type of day they've been having. Not saying that is an excuse, because again, you chose that job. You should be able to turn on and off like whatever bullshit just happened. But I say, regardless, look, I came in here to get a meal. I got a meal. I got my drink. So I just start off at either 15%, right, or I'll do 20%. And the only other like additional thing that I do in there is I always end my check so that they are even. So if my bill is, I don't know why this. Well, you can talk later, Ursula, about it. But if my check, right, happens to be, we'll say $45. Okay, so
Now you're going to do 50 or 55. I feel like sometimes people short you when they try to do that shit.
No, it's more like 1501, and then all of a sudden now he's gonna leave 399. Right? Is that what you're saying too? In order to get to like a round
Regardless,
number.
he said he's ending on it. He's
No,
gonna
no, no, no.
even
Round the
it
change
up.
up.
but I'm always making sure that I'm at 15 or that 20% though.
All right. Because
I
there's
still-
a lot of people that aren't like that, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to see 45.32 on my fucking statement."
No, I don't. I don't.
So then I get $3 because this motherfucker doesn't want to.
No, right? No. I hear
know?
you.
TJ rounds
no,
up.
no. Yeah, me going. I don't care if I stop at $53 or $58. I would rather just have the change at the end, right? Just be zeros, right? Because it's just easier, yes, for me to go on and look at my bank
You
account.
just want a whole number.
I just want a whole number.
Okay.
But I will make sure. Yeah. So again, I guess the easier way to go with it, let's say that it's $10 then, right? So my tip should be $1.50, correct? For 15%? Because 10% is $1. Okay. Just making sure everybody's with me here. So if anything, I'll just, all right, well, I'm going to write $2 down. Right? All right. So you're $12. Because I'm not writing fucking $11.50. That's pissing me off. But I'm not going to go down to 11 now, and I'm not at 15%.
Well, most people aren't like you, TJ, and they go down to
You
11.
I know, and that's why I'm amazing. Thank you.
That's why he has a podcast.
But I just wanted to look. I'm just saying how I do it. I'm not saying I was right. But now that I went, so who wants to tackle this next? Ursula, you're not part of this tackle yet.
Got it. Okay.
No, you already started talking.
Yeah.
He's still thinking. He's got to take what you say and what I say, and then formulate his idea. The best of both of them.
So I base my tips off the type of restaurant. I'm already going now, so it doesn't matter. I base it off the type of restaurant I'm going into. So I mean, obviously your tip is going to be much more if you're at a high end restaurant versus like a lower end.
I'm sorry.
Why are you pointing to
I'm
me?
sorry. I hope this goes without saying. I don't tip at like Taco Bell or something.
Oh well, yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, that's,
okay.
That's fucking fast.
I thought that. I just want to make sure that.
When I'm saying lower end, I'm speaking like some of your
Chili's,
lower end chains,
Applebee's,
exactly right. Yeah,
And then you get into like your 3, 4, 5 dime like a Ruth's Chris
exactly,
or
right,
okay.
Yeah, because even though those waitresses and waiters might be they might be paid more at like a Ruth Chris or something like that, but the level of service and I guess the expertise they put into their position is a whole lot more. So
plus, they're not turning as many tables because they're taking their time with you.
Right. Yeah. So, so I try to do like the 15 or the the 20%. The same thing. But I'm also the same way. I don't want to fucking leave change, so I want a whole number. But I'm not gonna short them for that whole number. But on the opposite end of that, if I get shitty service, I will just leave you $1 or $2. Or if I pay cash and my cash, the cash I receive back is only like $1.25, $1.30 that's what you're getting for your tip.
If it was horrible.
Yeah, if it was horrible.
All right, so you're pretty much with where I was.
Yeah.
And that whole numbers, and then instead of where I just leave 0, right? You'll just you're as we talked about earlier, you're making it a point to say your shit sucked. I did not just forget to leave a tip. Your shit sucked. Okay.
But, like with that too, so I feel like you said, like I go in there and I'm 15-20%, but if your service is shitty or it keeps declining, then you know what? That 20% just turned into 18 and
15,
so forth and so
12,
on, and
10,
then until like you said, you're back down to you just got some change.
Are you familiar with Twin Peaks?
Yes, very.
Do you get more of a tip just based off like the aesthetics?
So no, I do not. This is not a strip club. I came there to eat.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask the question.
Yeah.
Sean, would you give more off aesthetics?
I'm not familiar with Twin Peaks.
But
well, it's like Hooters.
Okay.
Well,
but better.
I'm not gonna lie. I might give more. I might go up to 25%.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Now my baseline still is the same, but I might go up a little bit more if I'm real happy with my.
So
no, I would not.
No, I don't tip anymore. But I'm a happier person.
Because they're willing
I'm more
to
jolly.
wear less clothes, you'll tip them
I
more.
might try to figure out actually if I'm going.
See, now we're about to go down a whole other avenue.
Yeah, I might listen. Yeah, maybe. I might figure out. Look again. If I'm going up to now,
so
maybe
basically,
20,
you just want a strip club as your restaurant.
I feel like that's dirty.
I know they do. I'm not. I said that's what he.
And
wants.
I spent a lot of time in Vegas, and I never once went to a strip club that
had a buffet.
Yeah, I mean, but I have been to a strip club that has done
ate
that.
at a titty bar. Buffet.
I have never. No. Well, hold on. Wait. Yeah. Look. Well, we ordered food. Look, I got real close with the one strip club that I used to go to all the time in Vegas, and so
just the one.
And I only went to one.
Oh.
In fact, I only went to one.
Want to promote them?
It was a Palomino, best strip club there is because it's fully nude and full alcoholic bar. But because I got close, right? Like with the waitress upstairs and the security guard. So yeah, Moxie is the waitress up there, and
Shout out to you, Moxie.
shout out, boom. But so, anyways, like yeah, we could order food, right? And I mean, they would allow us, but because I was like a regular, right, just like a Cheers crowd.
It was a fly on my mic.
Oh, okay. I thought you were giving me like a one up, like hey. So, anywho, yes, I have 8 there, but I can't just go. It's because I've been there gone there so often that man, we must be getting plaster right now. We're dropping beers,
Throwing cans and shit.
yeah. So I had been there so much that I knew what was going on that I felt comfortable doing that. So. Yeah, we're about to reload here. Just relax a minute, all right?
Yeah, come on, Rich.
I'm the one talking.
I'll tell him to calm down a little bit.
Oh, all right. So my point being is that I might still be at 20%. Oh, the joke that I was trying to make, this is what I was trying to do the whole damn time. All right? And I got distracted, is that if the service was good and it was 20%, if I'm trying to work up now a tip to 25%, I might actually throw out like change and like try to make it as like my number, like 3 pennies,
okay.
3,
Okay.
1.
But see, like
That's a stupid joke.
It was.
I didn't get it.
Sorry.
The Twin Peaks. I mean, a lot of time you go to places like Twin Peaks, service is not great, but
It's not.
You're still gonna
Because
leave
they
them
think they're going to
15,
get
20%.
people like TJ where they're going to tip them for being cute.
They do
Damn.
get people like TJ. They don't think that.
That's true. That's true.
They don't even have great food typically.
All right.
they
Okay.
don't.
Twin
Yeah.
Peaks doesn't. Well, the last time we went to Twin
Well,
Peaks,
One
we
time
were
I was at Hooters,
disappointed.
it was not good
Well,
food,
it depends
and
on
the
what
service
Twin.
isn't that great.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Well, that's Hooters. Like once the Twin Peaks became established, I stopped going to Hooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I don't,
It was nice. It was nice last week when we went.
See, I'm not a big
I'm
fan
just
of the one
kidding.
here in
I
Sacramento.
wasn't even saying anything.
Yeah, the one here in
I
Sacramento.
knew he was with me, so
Until you went to sleep.
that's, that one wasn't funny.
It was kind of funny. Were you making a finish your point there? Or was that it? Yeah, you went Twin Peaks is better than Hooters, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you said
Now,
going
Twin Peaks better than Hooters, but yeah, I mean, like Sean was saying, I mean, they're assuming that you're going to tip them based off how they look or what they have on. So their service is usually a little.
I
guess,
agree.
on the-
Yes.
They're gonna spend more time
Inside.
flirting and a little less time
Yes.
actually
Exactly.
delivering.
Right.
That's-
And I mean, and sometimes that's
service.
fun. Like,
That's
so if I'm going in there, and not really giving a fuck about my food or service, so if I'm going in there like Sunday, I'm going in there and watch, the game. Yeah, I'm just drinking and I'm in a flirty
They
mood
fit
too.
their
So let's
atmosphere.
do that.
So it's not too bad because they fit their atmosphere.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So back to the way Sean tips.
All right. So after listening to you explain the way you tipped, I've had a lot of thought
Okay.
in the way I tip.
Got it.
So essentially, if they're not too good, I'll leave them like maybe 10% or so, and then
Okay.
if they do better than not bad, I'll leave them like 15 to 20. And since I typically pay with a credit card, I don't care if I'm I don't care if it ends in a 0 or not because
See, the thing is, though, me and Crane are in that new generation. Y'all old. Y'all
Why do I
way
care that's
older
rounded to a
than us.
0?
So
Yeah.
we are the
Millennials.
credit.
it's not
for the
gonna make my
credit.
bank account
Right.
roll into a
Right,
0.
we don't give a fuck
So
because we're just putting on our
So,
credit on our
I pay with
cards.
a debit card a lot of times.
Cash.
So zeros
He
makes
uses
you feel
cash.
good?
Yeah,
Majority
okay,
of the time, it's
okay.
cash.
So true story.
thought this was
but
my time.
when I use my debit card, you know what? I still want that shit. So for
You're just
instance,
used to it, I think.
when I get gas, right?
But
You know
why?
what?
You don't even check your
if
statements
I'm-
for you
say
to
if
need
I'm-
to see the fucking
But now
ending
we're going
to be.
down a road that doesn't even need to be
So
going
I get
down.
that.
No,
Like,
because
who cares
your
if I
point
check my
was
statements?
that you like to see fucking zeroed out fucking like you like to see the
Okay.
45.00, right? You
I'm
don't like to
sorry.
see
I'm
any
sorry.
change.
I misspoke. I don't
Okay.
like to see. I like to know.
Oh my
That's what-
god!
But is your bank account always zeroed out at the end?
So because
He
when I
doesn't
get
know.
gas,
He doesn't check.
when I get gas, you know what?
If you go over that 1, you're gonna go all the way
No,
up to the
no,
next.
I want 50. Like, so for instance, if I'm getting $50 worth of gas or whatever, if my tank needs $50 worth of gas, I want $50.01.
Oh, you
like,
do?
So I do my gas like that. So it
Okay.
won't be some random ass, like, just a $50 charge or whatever. But when I want my food service, I want that shit zeroed out.
I just start my gas, I don't look, and then I just put up and I go away.
Okay, me
but
too.
So I will pump it up. Like, I would be the person sitting there pumping it, even if it's full and shit, because I want to get to the next one. So if I'm at 50, 88.
Yeah.
I want to get to 51.01. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Well, yeah. I mean, I stop on quarters.
Okay. I stop
So
on
weird to me,
pennies.
but I get okay, whatever. Each person's different.
Yeah.
But some people are more right too.
Yeah. I like to feel like.
All
I'm
right.
more right.
So okay. So back to. So if it's just kind of mediocre, you were at 10%.
Yeah, I don't really shit on waitresses, even though I feel like I should leave lower of a tip sometimes. I don't, because whatever. I don't believe in the whole tipping system, but I do it.
Okay.
But then, yeah, typically like 98% of the time, even though I leave them like a good 18%.
18%. Okay. So right now, I think we're both. All three of us have essentially been at. We go off the kind of the 15, 18, 20, percent model.
Even though I have seen a lot of that, I'm young, so I do get shittier experience, and which is entertaining to me that I've always had that where I do have money and I'm younger, and I have to deal with subpar experiences just because of the fact that I'm younger. So
Okay.
I tip them because of that fact that I want to try to break that trend. I feel like I do that sometimes, but I don't know.
All right, Ursula, tell us where we got this wrong.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, so far you guys are on the right track. I mean, I go off of 18% is the
Thank God
average.
I'm on the right track.
I know, right? I go 18% is average.
That's like a mother, right? Like telling her kid, like, the drawing's okay. I mean, you could have done better. Like, so it sucked. Like, well, you're on the right track. Like, okay. At first, I thought you were complimenting me. Then I just thought, and I thought about it. I was like, wait, I'm on the right track.
Like
No, I better be.
That, what do you call
Am I still at the starting? Am I at the starting
You're on
line?
a
or am I
parallel
closer
track
to
to me. You're on a parallel.
You're negative
track to
100,
me,
but
right,
you're going the right
right.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the right track. Polar opposites, but okay. I'm sorry, Ernest. Go ahead.
You're good. I use 18% as my average. Renardo can tell you guys. I definitely want to make sure I leave a tip. Like, I always try to make sure I leave a tip. So, but again, if they are giving horrible service, I'll even leave them a note and we'll leave them a bad tip. Like,
You will actually write a note.
yeah, service sucked, you sucked,
Yeah, I've seen.
poor,
them do it.
sad face, whatever. Like,
Are you? Yeah, I mean, you like. Do you actually put that service sucked? You
Yes.
sucked.
She's done it. Yeah,
Wow.
She
I-
put it on the receipt.
I'm not against that.
and
I'm just-
don't leave me a survey to fill out. Oh, that bitch will be filled out.
She believes in reviews as well. So
she do Yelp reviews?
Yeah, she'll Yelp the fuck out
Oh,
you.
yeah.
or like,
You
or
need
just
to know
write
what's
you an
going
email.
on.
No, I think that's good. Look. I wish I took more time to go onto Yelp or just talk about anything that that I'm doing and put my reviews on there.
See, that was another thing too. At Dave and Buster's, if people gave you good reviews, it actually affect your promotion. So
Yeah.
it does affect you in your job, like when you give out waitresses reviews.
Yeah, I guess here's my thing is if I take the time to fill out.
But we gave you something, like you got a $1 off. You got something off
No,
to fill out your.
Right,
survey.
right, yeah. But I'm saying just me making a handwritten note to him, right? Like, hey, it sucked. I'm not gonna. I mean, half the time I won't be
Because you
back
know
there for
what,
like another
though?
6 months.
Now she knows, or he or she knows, it wasn't that we were poor and we just didn't want to leave you a tip. It was because your fucking service sucked. Now
So-
you know it wasn't just like we were trying
But
to.
is it for them or is it for you?
What do you mean? It's for them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I'm not gonna see the change in them, so it's really only gonna make me feel better if I leave a note.
Okay, so it's for the next person that has them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting the point across. Cause like, hey, you need to do better. It's like, and like the point you were saying.
What if they don't get better? I just wasted my time writing that.
Yeah,
note.
I mean,
Was it really wasted time? It was like 2 seconds.
You're probably sitting around waiting for your credit card to get back to you for like 10 minutes
Exactly,
anyway,
like-
because they're probably shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you said earlier, it
Well, if
irritates
I'm
me
waiting for
first
my-
off that we got to tip these motherfuckers. Like, why can't I just get paid?
I agree, but if I'm waiting for my shit to get back though, I
Right
don't
on
have the
napkin.
goddamn pen. They probably took my pen, or the pen that they gave me. Give me a free pen. Maybe
You're right.
maybe your tip will go up. No, I get it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're saying it'll help the next person that because that waiter or waitress may change their tune to help out the next
Yeah. 'cause
couple
I mean, like
but
I said,
again,
they picked that job. So
but that service,
why do shitty service?
But yeah, but the better service they give to the people after you did not help my service.
No, that's true. That's true.
You're paying it forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's about, all right. So now we're just in the good deeds and paying it forward.
Yep.
Because I'm just saying, if I'm not going back there, like if this is not a place that I frequent often, or right, if I'm visiting some place, I ain't taking the time to leave a fucking note. It's like, by the time that I ever would come back here, your ass is probably gone anyways.
But I don't know. I mean, it depends on how bad the service was. Like sometimes
we've gotten some horrible service.
Forever for my food. I waited forever
Wrong
to get
fucking
my
meal
check.
got brought out.
What's a few more seconds for me to write how shitty your service was? Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, let you know. I want to give you feedback.
All right. Well, hey, look, speaking of feedback, all right, so let us know how you tip out there. Again, you can find us on Twitter at ViewsandFacts, also on Facebook and at YouTube at ViewsandFacts. And yeah, again, let us know how we tipped, and hopefully we gave you some tips of our own.